Hello and welcome to the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast, a podcast from proper Spurs to all the proper Spurs around the world. And the De Zerbi era is in full swing, but we are still yet to get a win. And it's not just him, it's been since before Christmas, I think. Was it New Year's? Like just around then, the last time we got a win. However, the performances have took an upturn. But we're still here. The podcast is still here, and we will be here right until the bitter end. And it is me, TJ, back from a couple of weeks off, and I am joined by Kevin Dennis, Matty Kerr, and of course our very special guest, as always, Shane. He's in the house. We had to vote him in because he's the only one that actually went on the weekend. Talk about loyal Spurs after us ain't been going. So yeah, how you doing, lads? Shane specifically, mate. How you been? How's things?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right today. I've calmed down now. But yeah, as I said before we come on, I'm lucky Kev answered the phone on the way home because I was in a bad place, mate. I was in a real bad place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it must be hard around your neck of the woods as well, right? They just been promoted. So they're loving life.
I know, mate. Yeah, rough.
Yeah. Kev, how's things, mate? All good?
Yeah, good, mate. Just obviously going through it all like we all are. Emotions high, anger, disappointment, bit proud of them from the performance yesterday, but yeah, just a whole range of emotions with Spurs at the moment. And yeah, I mean, like I said last week, I can't wait for the season to finish wherever we finish. I just need a break for my own mental health from this football club. So yeah, just roll on these next few games. I think it's the kind of, I'm like that in general. I think you know, I like to know what's happening. So this is like us being in this limbo thing for so long, especially how it's intensified over the last couple of weeks. It's the not knowing what's happening is really fucking doing me in as a supporter. Not knowing, I don't know when we're going to win or if we're going to stay up or what. So yeah, really tough time to be a Spurs fan at the moment.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, Matt, I mean, you're probably just going to echo exactly what Kev said, but just feels like even with a good performance, we're just getting kicked. Like every little thing, like referee decisions. Just need a bit of luck on your side as well. And then fucking 95th minute equaliser. What a fucking kick in the bollocks that was. I mean, how are you feeling, Matt?
See it, mate. Like, I see that as a positive result yesterday. Yeah, because early on in a couple of weeks before, we would have lost that quite comfortably, that game. I see it as a positive result. I said that we needed to get 7 points from Brighton, Leeds and Wolves because they're the teams, well, especially Leeds, we need to beat them really. But if we get 7 points from them, it's kind of needed. But obviously teams above us are winning now as well. So it was like a kick in the nuts yesterday, conceding late on. But I see it as a positive performance, mate. No one likes to concede late on, but I'm seeing so much more under De Zerbi than we have all season. And he's only been there 2 games. And I feel confident that we'll get out of this situation under De Zerbi. It just shows Tudor should never ever have been anywhere near that club, and we wasted so many games on him, and we could have been out of this mess by now if we would have got De Zerbi back then.
Yeah, I think we'll touch on that in later on in the episode. I think it's an important thing to take because that is one thing that a lot of people are saying. They're like, if we had 10 games left, you know, they see us getting out of it quite comfortably, but was it 5 now? Is it 5 games left? And you're like, fucking hell, like everyone else, like we're Forest are 5 points ahead. If West Ham win tomorrow, they're 4 points ahead. That means even a win don't get us out at this point. But I mean, listen, let's look at the game yesterday in a bit more detail. Shane, you were the only one there yesterday. You know, what are your thoughts on it being in there? I mean, they started off with the old flags and that again. Like you feel like they're trying to dry up the atmosphere a bit in the background. Did you feel like there was a bit more of a change in the atmosphere there on your way down?
Yeah, yeah, the flags and that, mate, before, it really does create that atmosphere. And yeah, it was brilliant. My little boy loved it. Obviously, just me and the little one went. And everyone around the whole ground, you could hear the noise all the way around. Couldn't hear their fans whatsoever. Drowned them out. Anytime they did try to sing, it kept going. The South were amazing last night. They just kept going all the way through. Really, really good. And yeah, I was positive, mate. I'm not going to lie. When we started and the way we started, exactly like you said with De Zerbi, I do feel positive under him. I really like him. It's just the 5 games. It just worries me. 5 games, is it enough to do it? I think if anyone can get us out of it, it's going to be him. But yeah, the atmosphere was really good. All the way through, right to the end, mate. I mean, obviously, as soon as that goal went in, my head had fucking gone. So I was down them steps. So I haven't watched it back fully as in the end of it, but you boys, if anyone watched it on TV, I'm guessing I would have guessed the majority of the fans stayed and clapped on. I've seen a couple of videos, so fair play to them that did do that. I just didn't have it in me to do it. I was fucking raging, had a long drive home. So, but yeah, it was good atmosphere, mate. Really good atmosphere, and fair play again because, like I said, I'd done a little post and they don't deserve it. We're going there and fucking cheering them. I think even De Zerbi said yesterday, we're cheering them on like we're going for Champions League, not fucking battling relegation. And they don't deserve it. But when they do give you that little bit, that performance, that's all it takes. And the fans will get behind you all game long, like we did yesterday. No matter what happened, even when they equalised, we still kept going. Obviously, then that second goal was unbelievable, the atmosphere in there.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching it, like I was down the pub. So I was in a little town, for people who are local probably know it, Sawbridgeworth. It's in between Harlow and Bishop Stortford, not far from where I live, to be fair. And I was in this little pub there, and it was like filling up with people. And yeah, you could kind of feel that like the performance was there. When I was watching it, it felt like they wanted it. It's the first time in a long time that I've watched Tottenham, and I felt like the players were hungry for it. Like, it's the first time I've actually watched the game and thought the players wanted it a little bit. They knew the shit they were in. And I thought that Porro goal was well taken. I thought even the little dink into him and the header was great. And then, we got a little bit of luck as well. The ball hits the post, goes right across the line, and then goes out. And then, we obviously can see that was bad defending for the Mitoma one. And I fucking knew he was going to score as well, because there was talk about him whether he's even going to play or not. So I knew as soon as he got on the ball, he'd score. But then, that Simon's goal goes in. And what a fucking take, by the way. That's what we've been missing. Like little things like that, little pings from outside the box, people taking chances. And I've said for a long time, I don't think we've got a proper goal scorer in the team. But when he's taking shots like that, you're thinking, just do it more often. Just start hitting it more often like that. But I mean, there's been a lot said about him celebrating like it was the 90th minute and taking his top off and all that. But you know what? The way things are, I'm all for it. Like, that goes in, the atmosphere absolutely erupts in the stadium.
You know what?
I'm all for it, the way they celebrate. I don't care if it's the 77th minute. Go on, mate.
When it comes to even a player celebrating and stuff, they get slated for celebrating. Like the celebration police come out all the time. He scored an absolute worldie. It meant a lot in that game. Do you know what I mean? It could have been a game-changing moment. He could have won the game. He celebrated. Yeah, so what? Spurs get flags. Do you know what I mean? Want to create an atmosphere. You still get the celebration police come out. You're not allowed to create anything. No player or fans are allowed to celebrate anything. And you do get that.
I think what was another reason why he celebrated it is because of the stop-start season he's had. You've got to think he's not played hardly any games really this year, especially in this integral part of I would say this calendar year. He hasn't started enough games, and we've kind of wondered why. So I think for him, he's probably frustrated as a player that, like I said, he's come with a big reputation, big money, and no one knows why he hasn't got a game. So he's got a World Cup coming up. He wants to play. I've never he's got the body language of someone who looks like he don't give a shit. But when he gets on the pitch, he becomes hungry. And I think that goal was not only for us, but I think a lot of it was for him as well. In like I said, in terms of not being able to play as many games and being frustrated. And listen, he's come with a tag. He's a top footballer everywhere, every club he's been at, and he doesn't want to be deemed as a failure at any club. So him coming on having that moment, how people can take that away from him in terms of the way he celebrated, and how they can take it away from us supporters after all the shit that we've had to fucking swallow this season. I just think people that are not in that situation won't get it. And we probably haven't got it before because we've never been down there. But I think going forward now, if we do survive and teams do have the pitch invasions where they stay up and do it, I kind of get it now. Your team has been shit all year and you're fighting down there, and every little goal or every little bit of luck you have is massive. And like you said, you can see what it meant to the supporters. Because for me, apart from Atletico Madrid and Burnley, That for me was probably the best home performance I've seen all season, and we didn't win. But like you said, it's been so bad. There was tiny positives in there, and every Spurs fan, all they want at the moment is just a little positive. They just want to go down to their home stadium and watch a team have home advantage and play well, and we haven't had that. So for people that do that, I think they're a bunch of wankers, and they won't understand it. But yeah, I'm all for it at the moment. Anything we can get, we'll take. And if I have to run on the pitch at the end of the season and fucking strip off into my fucking pants, I fucking will, because it means everything to us and we don't want to go down. So it is what it is. We are where we are, and we'll live for their moments if it means survival.
I think yesterday showed, though, boys, did it, that Xavi Simons should be starting. A goal and assist. Like, he should be starting.
Big time.
He's the only guy in that squad currently that's fit, that something's going to happen from. Like, we haven't got Kudus, we haven't got Kulu, we haven't got Madison. We need someone with a bit of flair, and Xavi Simons is that guy. And he should be starting. I'm saying.
So I agree 100%, Matt. And do you know what as well? Because he hasn't been playing, in my opinion, that's why he got the cramp at the end, and that's why he was down and rolling around like a twat. Because he got the cramp and because he hasn't had the minutes. If he had been bred in a bit more over these games, he would have had more minutes in the legs, and hopefully he wouldn't have got that cramp. And I'm not saying it was his fault for the goal or anything, but when we're basically a man down with no subs to bring on, it doesn't fucking help. And like you say, he's the only one with a bit of fucking flair, that special player that can pull something out of the bag, out of nothing. He done it yesterday. That assist was unbelievable. So yeah, he has. I think he will. I think there's no way on God's earth he has to start. I'm sure we get on to the players, but I think there was a few positives yesterday and a few people that will have to start. And there's one definite who I don't ever want to see him get him gone straight away, but that's Mawani for me. But he's just a fucking liability, man. He's just pointless. I don't know what he brings to the team. I don't know what they see in him as well, because all the managers, like we say about, there must be something they're not seeing in Simmons and in Frank, Tudor, and then De Zerbi not starting him. But all of them three have been starting Mawani. He's fucking useless every single game. We lock a man down.
Do you know what? You know what people's thing is, and someone made a point to me yesterday. It might have been my missus when I was watching it. She went, "When you're in the shit the way you are, you need players that are at the club permanently, know what it's all about, have got a relationship with the fans, get what it is to play in that stadium, and it means everything." But this guy is someone who's on loan, has no future at the club. So is he going to go out there and is he going to fight for you? And what I see from him is, I don't think he's up for that kind of a fight. Yeah, he puts himself about a bit, but he's not good enough. And I just don't think he's the one who's going to break his leg to make a run or to put a last-ditch tackle in. He just isn't that player. So I question that selection in terms of that, especially in the kind of period we're in, where, you know, I'm a big critic of Richarlison, but I think at least Richarlison would probably give you a bit more in terms of, as my son would say, quote, dying for the badge. So, you know, I question Mawani, and I've questioned him all year, to be honest. But in this situation, he ain't the right player for a fight.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying, Kev. To be honest, I think Mawani, I think he's shown flashes in like Champions League games, like, you know, he's at like the PSG game and things like that. He's come across and played a little bit right, but I just don't. I'm kind of with Shane and Kev on this. I just don't get what he brings to the team. If anything, he's a hindrance for me. Like, sometimes I sit there and think, if he weren't playing and we had 10 men, we'd probably do better, because he loses the ball very often. He doesn't create anything. I don't ever see him scoring a goal. Like, he's meant to be a striker. I don't really see how. I personally just think, like, the trial didn't work. Thanks for the time. See you later. Like, use him as a sub, like, late on if you need to, like, give someone who's blowing a fucking rest. But realistically, people like Richarlison, who know what it is to fight, who've been in relegation battles before, they should be getting the team ahead of him. And yeah, I just really don't get the Mawani thing for me. Like, it's fucking so bad.
Have we not got a winger in our academy that's better than Kolo Mawani?
Well, Tell's better than him, and I think Tell has shown in recent games that he's direct. He can hold the ball up well. He's strong. He can dribble. Hasn't lit the fucking place up and all that. But at this time, I think he looks more hungry than him, and I don't know why Tell isn't getting starts over him. I mean, someone told me that De Zerbi tried to sign Mawani at Marseille, So he was keen on him from then. So I think he's walked in there and thought, well, I've got the player that I liked. I'm going to see him because, I liked him. I've seen what he's done before. But in this league, you've got to be, and especially in this situation of being down the bottom, you've got to be willing to fight and you've got to be willing to fucking run. And he doesn't do that. So it's why Tell doesn't get a start over him, I don't know.
This is my thing, and I feel like Tottenham have made this mistake so many times when we look for players on the continent. Like we go look at a player that's not like played in England, is like lit up a French league or a Dutch league or a Portuguese league or whatever, and we go and buy this player expecting them to transition straight into the Premier League. I think it is very, very rare that players from the continent come into the Premier League and hit the ground running. Like I genuinely think it's like 10% of the players that come over, and that's across all teams, by the way, come in and do a job. Like I think it's very, very rare. I think the game is totally different in this country, and I think that's where you're seeing players like Mawani suffer. I think Simon's had that in his first month at the club. I think you didn't really see anything from him, and for similar reasons. I think the pace level, the physicality of the league, I think it's just different. But yeah, listen, I want to get onto another player because, and I'll start with you, Matt, on this one, because I feel like he's a bit hit and miss with everyone. But Pedro Porro, for all he did great in the offensive play yesterday, for me, he was the one at fault for the first goal, and his defensive capabilities. That's where we're lacking on Pedro Porro. So I don't know. I can see like you want him for his crosses, and his forward play, but what he brings us there, we are missing severely in tracking back and defending at the back post. And I feel like the reason we can see that first goal was just for Pedro Porro being out of position. Like Matt, what are your thoughts on Pedro Porro?
I think with Brighton's first goal, Matoma's never going to smash another ball like that with his left foot again. Yeah, that was just a crazy goal, and it just shows you that when you're down the bottom, the luck goes against you. I don't think Matoma ever hits a ball like that again. I get that. The second goal, Danso should have just cleared it. So I know it's come from that side of the pitch, but I think he's better than Spence. I do. I think with Porro, maybe not defensively, but I think with Porro, he's rolling his sleeves up and giving us everything at the minute. Do you know what I mean? I do think he's the one fighting for that badge at the moment. So I'm not going to be critical about Porro because I think he's one of the players standing up and wanting to get us out of this shit.
I can be critical of his defending. I can be critical of his defending all day long. All day long. I mean, what I don't understand is his worst mistakes he makes is that there'll be a player running around the back and he gets sucked into the middle all the time. And he's got to know that because he knows there's a winger on his right shoulder. But he gets sucked over all the time. And sometimes all it takes is a centre half just to shuffle over and go, look, we're good here. Your player's over there. But he seems to be drawn in to the middle of the box and always leaves a spare man at the back post. And we've never really had good right backs over the years, apart from Kyle Walker and Trippier to a point. We've always had poor right backs. And Brett, my brother-in-law Brett mentioned it in the group chat yesterday and mentioned him, Chorluka. He was one of the worst for it. Absolute donkey at right back. Always fell asleep at the back post. And for how good Porro's attacking side of it is, and listen, he is one of the best deliverers of the ball we've got. But defensively, it's like he is not at it at all, switched on. And I thought Udogie played well yesterday, going up and down. And I think that's the kind of level we've got to be at. Udogie doesn't have his delivery, but Udogie's got an engine. He knows how to defend. And, with Spence, we've seen this year, he can go forward. He can defend, doesn't have the delivery. This is where it's a bit of a cross, you see, because you need Porro in for delivery, but you also want a better defender as well. I've always just thought Porro would be a better attacking player than he's a defender. If he was playing in a front three, I'd like to see him playing out wide, or if you're playing four in there, sticking him on the wing, a bit like a Trent. But yeah, defensively, I think if you look back at it over the years, he has cost us a lot of goals from being out of position and not being able to get back. So, yes, for how good his delivery is, but fuck me, he's a hindrance as well. And like you said, Matt, what you're saying there about him having that luck with the shot, it is a great hit, but can he be closed down? Has he got a free hit there? And that's my argument with it.
Yeah, I think Shane, on Pedro Porro, I think if you give Matoma that sort of time, then he's going to score goals like that, right? Like, to Kev's point, do you think Porro does enough defensively to warrant playing in that position?
To be honest, mate, I don't. At the minute, defensively as a whole, I think was shit. I think Kinski was the only one who can hold in. I mean, Danto was all right yesterday. Obviously, that mistake is fucking ruined him. But yeah, Danto's okay. But I think as a whole, defensively, we just don't look solid. And even like Romero and Van der Ven, there's a mistake in any of them, and there's them losing players and not marking correctly. And like you're saying, when Kev said earlier about if the centre backs say we're all right here, I don't think he's got the confidence to say that they are all right, because they're just losing their men constantly. If you look at all the goals that we conceded, it's madness. This will sound mental, but looking back at the goal today, if you look at Porro's positioning, yes, all right, he's lost his man 100%. But how many times is someone going to hit that first time? I reckon 1 out of 10. So his positioning, if he does bring it down, is all right. Which is, I know it sounds absolutely fucking mental because he hasn't, and he's just scored a worldie. But I think it's 1 out of 10 he does it. And if he does bring it down, Porro's not in a bad position, but he is in a bad position for what's happened. So the point's invalid, to be honest. But yeah, defensively as a whole, mate, I'm really not overly confident. I mean, please God, we do stay up, and I like that Bournemouth lad if we do get him. Obviously, he's going way off topic now, but I really wouldn't want to sign Robertson. I think he was okay for when we needed him January, but going forward to on a free, okay, yeah, sound good squad player and all the rest of it, but going forward for me, that's not. If we do stay up and stay in this league, please God, I don't think Robertson's a player that I'd want to be signing at that age, and I think he's really on his way out. I mean, today, watched him today, and he was at fault for the Everton goal for me. And yeah, I don't get it. I think with De Zerbi, I think he's gonna, if we do stay up, he's gonna attract some big players, and I think going to be a big shift around in that, potentially the whole squad, but definitely the defence. Whether I think Romero's gone, he's played his last game, and then does Van der Ven go as well, and then we get this Vuskovic, and then hopefully that's Senesi or whatever his name is. But yeah, I want to shout out to Kinski as well. I thought he was fucking class yesterday, and for me, I think I want him playing goal for the rest of the season. I don't want to see Vicario back in goal, even if he comes back. I really don't. I feel a lot more confident with Kinski there. I know he's got a mistake and a few of his kicks were wayward yesterday, but if you put that in comparison to Vicario, I'm much more confident with Kinski.
I think you made a good segue there into talking about Kinski, actually, because I want to get onto him. Because listen, under Tudor, he had that game against Atletico, and listen, we had done a podcast at the time. I said I thought it was the right decision to take him off, but should he have been playing in the first place? And at that point, his career is all but done. So, and by chance, now Vicario's got a hernia, and he's forced back in the team. I think that is the best thing. Well, obviously, you don't want your players to get injured or have these problems, but that is the best thing that could happen to Kinski, because he would have been frozen out. Like, he would never have got anywhere near that team again if Vicario continued to play for the rest of the season. And I think by doing so, you've seen an uptick in performance. I agree with Shane. I think Kinski's played really well in the past couple of games. And, I don't know if he's as good a shot stopper as Vicario. I mean, he made some good saves yesterday, I thought, like really close range. But he's definitely better with his feet. Atletico Madrid game aside. And, I think it's definitely one for debate. But something that does have to be looked at in general is this back line. I think, again, I agree with Shane. I think Romero probably has played his last game for Spurs. I think he's got one eye on going to La Liga. And I think, I don't know, I kind of feel like we need a turnover in defence. Van der Ven, for me, is fantastic. Like, he's a great player, but I just don't get his attitude at the moment. I don't think his head's in the game with Spurs. I think he's got eyes on somewhere else.
So, TJ, do you think these two centre-backs that we've been praising have fanned out this season, and they're basically bang average mid defenders? Mickey van der Ven has only got speed. I've said this from day one. But Romero is just a liability now. I've praised Romero so much, but he's an absolute liability.
Yeah, I think Romero's ill discipline, especially as a captain, is something that needs to be answered. And listen, I don't know. You got to remember these are players that were part of our Europa League winning squad. So like it's hard to say that they've been. But have they been found out, or have they just been? I don't know. It's tough, or have they just been part of a really bad period in Tottenham's time. I don't know. I find it hard to kind of distinguish between the two at the moment. But yeah, listen, it's one of them. Like it's something that needs rectifying in the summer if we stay up. There's talks of a war chest. I mean, we've heard it a million times before being thrown at the team. Vuskovic, who's killing it in German league, Bundesliga, does he even want to come back? We're hearing that he don't even want to come back to Tottenham. He wants to be sold. And yeah, this Bournemouth player about coming to Spurs. But a lot of this hinders on us remaining a Premier League club, a top tier, elite level football team. And listen, let's talk about it because it needs to be spoken about. You've got Leeds who won this weekend. They're now on 39 points with 5 games to go. Forest won today, 36 points, 5 games to go. West Ham are on 32. That's 1 point above us, but they play tomorrow against Palace away. And then Spurs on 31 with 5 games to go. Everywhere you look and every logic and statistical analysis says that Spurs will be playing championship football next season. If this was an essay, the next word would be discuss. So, Kev, I'll start with you. What's going to happen over the next few weeks?
Quite simply, I don't know. What I have done is I've sort of mentally prepared myself, trying to mentally prepare myself for the worst. It's been so bad for so long now. I'm clinging on to hope of every result, or a result that we can get, and hoping other teams slip up. That don't seem to be happening. Yes, there's been positives in the Brighton game. I wouldn't say there were so many positives in the Sunderland game, but this Brighton game has probably given us a bit of a glimmer of hope. And Shane mentioned it yesterday. If we would have won that, it really changes things. And I did say yesterday that if we would have beat Brighton, it gives you a massive springboard onto Wolves, which I know we say every week. It's a massive game. It's a big game. Every game you play is massive. But I think they can, for how disappointed they are not winning, I think they can take some massive positives into Wolves and go up there and beat them. But yeah, like you said, it all depends on other results. But we've been so bad for so long that I've really resigned myself to thinking that everything is just going against us. Every little thing in terms of, injuries this year and manager debacles and fucking suspensions and everything else you want to throw in the mix. Other teams getting results. It's just sometimes you feel these things and you just think no matter what you do, the worst is going to happen. It don't seem to be getting any better. But
Kev, let me just give you some context. So about how bad it is at Spurs at the moment. In the entire football leagues, that's the 4 leagues, only one team has picked up fewer points than Spurs this calendar year, and that is Sheffield Wednesday, who are on negative points in the Championship and are like, I've got the lowest points total. Forget the negative points. Like before they had it deducted, they're going to have one of the lowest points totals ever in the Football League era. So they're the only team that picked up less than us.
I'll be honest with you. I thought the Brighton game, not the Sunderland game. I thought the Brighton game yesterday was the first time I looked at them and thought, I really think the penny's fucking dropped here. I really feel what we've been fucking worried about since January. I actually feel like you now believe and know that you're in the shit. And I think this guy coming in has obviously explained that to him in the way he's done it. But yeah, we really are in crisis, and this is really where you wear that fucking cockle and that shirt, and this is where you express your love for it by giving everything. And at the moment, and at Brighton, I thought they did do that. And I mean, I was gutted for Danso because I thought overall we probably tilted that and deserved to win it. So I have to take positives. I'm stupid like every other Spurs fan. I think things are going to get better, and sometimes it hits me when it doesn't. But this Wolves game is fucking huge. If West Ham do drop points tomorrow, Wolves is game on. And if you can't beat Wolves away in this situation after a decent performance against the most informed team in the league, in being Brighton, then you really do deserve to go down. And I think this weekend coming will actually be the final nail in the coffin if we don't pick up maximum points. So yeah, it's really bad, Tej, and yeah, I'm already thinking about what away trips I'm doing next year in the Championship, like we have been discussing on the group chat for quite a while now, because it is the only positive. When you're fans like us and you go everywhere, it's the only positive. If you don't go, then fuck me, you're in for one hell of a miserable year watching us in that. But you know, I don't know. I've just resigned myself to the worst because it's been so bad, and I just hope now that they can get a win at Wolves, then we can go again and have a strong finish to the league.
Matt, should we not be positive though? I mean, we've just come off the back of probably one of our best performances this side of the year. We've got Wolves away. Yes, we've got a terrible record against Wolves, by the way, in the Premier League era. Like, even when they're bad, we just have such a bad record against them. Villa away after that, and that's in between 2 European semi-finals for them. You know, they're 10 points clear of Chelsea now. So you're thinking that they're seeing their Champions League position as a bit sewn up at the moment. They probably only need like one more win, which obviously they could get this weekend. So then we've got Leeds at home. Again, they could be safe by then, or we could even drag them back into it if we win. And then obviously the killer, Chelsea away, but then they can't fucking win a game at the moment. But then again, that's a stadium that we normally write off every year. And then Everton at home on the final day, who are pushing for Europe. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that could go in our favour there, Matt. Should we not be positive about the running we have compared to someone like Forest, who's got like Newcastle away, all these like teams that have been picking up points, so like big clubs away, and then like West Ham, we've still got to play teams chasing Europe, and Arsenal as well, who obviously need to win these games now to win the league. So should we not be more positive about where we sit?
No, I am, mate. I think under De Zerbi, I think Sunderland, we didn't actually deserve to lose that game. I thought it was just a draw. I thought yesterday, again, a draw, but I feel like we've done enough yesterday and there's positives there, you know. And I look at Nottingham Forest and I look at West Ham's fixtures and I don't see many points in those. No matter how much they want to fight, I don't see them getting points. Like West Ham especially, like every team they're playing against is either challenging for the league title or European football next season. And I struggle to see where West Ham do get points. We have to beat Wolves, and that is it. No matter if West Ham win tomorrow and go 4 points clear of us, we have to beat Wolves. Aston Villa, I think they will rotate that team against us because of that Europa League game. They're going to want that Europa League. They've secured Champions League. Do you know what I mean? The game's been moved to a Sunday. They're going to be like, look, we'll rotate it because the Nottingham Forest game in Europa League can be more important. Nottingham Forest have now got Europa League and probably the toughest set of fixtures there is. So I don't see Nottingham Forest picking up many more points between now and the end of the season. But we just have to do our job. And I think we can beat Wolves and I think we can beat Leeds. Everton on the last day of the season, if that's a needs must to win, best you know, mate, that atmosphere is going to be absolutely rocking on that last day of the season. Chelsea away, I've written off because we get nothing against Chelsea. No matter how good we are and how bad they are, they'll still beat us. So I've written off Chelsea at 0 points. Do I think we can get a point at Villa or 3 points? Yeah, I do. I think.
Do you think them being in the semi-final makes you more feel like that?
Yeah.
If they weren't in the semi-final, do you think we'd lose it?
Yeah, we would. Yeah. But I look at Nottingham Forest and West Ham's fixtures, and I think they're in big trouble. And I really do. I know we're in the bottom 3, but I've seen enough under De Zerbi at the moment to feel like we're going to start picking up some wins.
And Shane, I mean, I'll come to you. Like the argument that we said at the beginning of the show was 5 games. 5 games left. If it was 10, you feel like the performances would draw the results eventually, but we've only got 5 games left. And it's against the teams we just said. So Wolves away, Villa away, Leeds at home on a Monday night football, and then Chelsea away and Everton at home to finish. Well, how do you see it panning out, mate? Do you think with De Zerbi and with the other teams that realistically, I think Leeds are out of it now. I think they're on 39 points. I think 39-40 is going to make you safe this year. So I think they're out of it. So it's between us, Forest and West Ham for that last place. I mean, Wolves are all but gone. Burnley, after the defeat today, they're all but gone. So it is literally 3-1. Like, do you think Tottenham will be on the right side of that line come into the season?
The reason why this podcast is so good and why so many people listen to it is purely because before I come on here, I spoke to Kev yesterday and I was done. I said, if we didn't win yesterday, that was it. But even listening to, obviously, this conversation now, it makes you see different sides of it, makes you feel different feelings, emotions from speaking to other lads, getting their different points of view. It's hard for me, obviously, being from Midlands and that, and you've got different fans, so I don't get it unless I speak to you boys or I listen to this pod. So listening to this, even then speaking and thinking, you know what? The last 2 games, Matt's right. We shouldn't have lost against Sunderland. That was a draw. That should have been won. Yesterday, we should have fucking won that game. All right, we didn't hold on, but we're against the best team not the best team in the league, sorry, the best performing team at the moment in the league. They're in the best form. So what we have seen in De Zerbi is positives. Plus, we've got Maddison who's come on the bench, which was fucking huge yesterday. We've got Bentancur who's come back, who for me looked fucking absolutely Rolls Royce in the middle yesterday. Held everything up. When he come off, it kind of stopped it. So your bench is now looking pretty strong. Okay, there's no out and out wingers, but it's looking a lot stronger. And then you go to what Matt and everyone's just said. You look at the fixtures. You look at West Ham has still got Arsenal. Arsenal, them bottle job cunts will probably fuck it up and lose for us. But they are chasing for the league, so potentially they win. Then you've got Forest run is hideous. Yes, okay, they've won today, and it was a kick in the bollocks for me.
So yeah, let me just give you Forest's run, right? So they've got Sunderland away this weekend, or is it this weekend? And then they've got their Europa League fixture against Villa, Chelsea away, then the other Europa League fixture, and then they've got Newcastle at home, United away, and Bournemouth at home to end it. So I mean, those are teams that could still be going for things, or would want to easily to get a result against Forest.
Yeah, 100%. Especially Man United, you'd like to think United will win it. Newcastle at the minute are not the team that they have been on the last few seasons, so we can't really say bank on Newcastle. Bournemouth are flying. Obviously, new manager just been announced, and obviously the old one's leaving and stuff. So yeah, last game of the season. But yeah, I reckon Forest we could drag them in. What everyone said, I was before we started speaking, I thought that's it, we're done, because of I think yesterday was so important. But now hearing everyone's points of views, and you know what, looking back and thinking, I genuinely do believe in De Zerbi. I'm massive on the train of him. I really am. I really like him. I like how he's come out. Everyone thinking that he's going to be fucking going mental and all the rest of it. He's been calm. His press conferences have been brilliant afterwards, saying all the right things. And he said last night, he said, I see this team and we can win all 5 of them games. And it does give you, I know he has to say that, but I do think that we have got a chance until it's over. But the one thing for me, and I said it about yesterday, but I genuinely don't think I'll change my mind after this, no matter how good the fucking pod is the week after. If we don't beat Wolves next week, I think it's curtains, because if the West Ham win tomorrow, that's 4 points. That's 2 results they have to drop no matter what, because we're 4 points. So there has to be a loss and a draw no matter what. If we do not win and then they win, that's 7. And it's just, yeah, it's as good as 100% over.
Yeah, I think Shane, you've hit it on the head, mate. I think we're all in agreement that if we do not win away at Wolves, then we are in the Championship next season. And that's, I mean, I just don't see us. I mean, it'll be a big problem if there's a 4-point gap tomorrow. I mean, I'm hoping Palace, you know, like being at home on the back of a European win and into the semi-finals themselves, I'm hoping they put a performance in. You know, I don't know. I just don't know how I sit with all this. Some of these clubs, I think a lot of clubs, if you're a neutral and you're watching a big 6 club fight at the bottom, you kind of want them to go. Like every year when I was watching Everton down there, I was kind of sitting there thinking, it'd be quite good if they went, you know, just because it's like a bit of a history. It's a bit of a, you know, Everton are like the second longest serving first division team after Arsenal. So I'm sitting there thinking, it'd be nice for them to drop out. Like, it'd be a bit of a shock to the system. So I think a lot of neutral teams probably want us to go, just for what it'll mean and even the banter behind it and all that. But I don't know where I sit. like even now, I don't know where I see it. I said that same as you, Shane. I was like, we have to win against Brighton and Wolves. Like that, we have to take 6 points from those games. We haven't from that game, but we haven't. I've said since about 15 games to go, we need 3 wins. We're still in that position with 5 games to go. It's insane. So I'm trying to isolate the performance on Saturday and let that dictate how my mind is at the moment. But logically, if I take my Spurs hat off, I would pick Tottenham to go down. That's the worst thing. Like if I wasn't a Spurs fan and I was looking at everything, I'll be like, well, clearly they're fucked. Like they're going. Like they're. But that being said, of course, I'm fucking blue and white in my heart, and I am a Spurs fan. And that performance yesterday against, like Shane said, the most informed team, they've only lost to Arsenal in the past 7, right? So they're like the informed team at the moment. And to get that performance where we probably, you know, like you say, on edge of it, a draw is probably a fair result. But to get to that point, 95th minute, and then lose it, just a bit gut-wrenching. But I think if we take those performances into the next 5 games, there should be no reason why we don't win and don't pick up 3 wins.
Yeah, I think
where they come from, I don't know.
Yeah,
but we have to beat Wolves just for the mentality and even how the table looks. The gaps that will start to form, they will be irretrievable. You can't. You get to a point, and you've got 4 games to go, and there's 7 points to overturn. You just ain't gonna do it. And that's where I'm at. If we don't win against Wolves, it's Lincoln away next season.
I think, like you said, the toughest thing we're up against at the moment is, even if you're playing teams like Leeds, who may be safe, and Palace, who may be safe, and Villa have got the Europa, we, in hope, thinking, you know, they've got nothing to play for, it won't be a thing. But like you just said, everybody wants us to go down. I try and compare it a bit to Leicester winning the league. Everyone wanted Leicester to win the league. Everyone wanted that unthinkable thing to happen. And everybody wants Tottenham to go down. And I think every club that plays against us not only knows that we're fragile and that they can beat us anyway, but they know that the next team they play with, like Wolves will want to beat us just because they'd want us to go with them. It's as simple as that. And we're up against that every time we play in these next 5 games. Whether the team's playing already relegated or whatever they got going, they want to beat Tottenham and they want to relegate Tottenham Hotspur because of the magnitude of the club we are. And the stories that's going to come out with it, the attention it's going to get. An advert for the Premier League, you know, this is the best league in the world. It's so competitive. Look at Tottenham Hotspur. 1 year Europa League winners, next year in the fucking Championship. It's a story that everyone wants to write about. The media, everyone wants it to happen, and I think that's our biggest thing. We're up against everyone at the moment. I said last week, I ain't just saying it, but I just feel like it's just a bit of an agenda with referee decisions. I just think everybody wants it to happen. Everybody's against us, and
I feel like that yesterday with the referee.
Yeah, man. At Sunderland, we had two games with 2 shit refs, Teach. And I just feel like, I just don't know if I'm being paranoid about it because of where we are, but we just got no luck at the minute with anything. And I just think when your back's against the wall like that, if you don't come out swinging and fighting, then you really will go. And it will just be about how much they can fight when they go to these games like Wolves away, Villa away. It's just going to be how much you want it, because they're going to want to win it as much as we are, just because of what's at stake for Spurs. So it's so tough, mate. And if we get out of it, it'd be an absolute miracle if we got out of it. I really do.
Just going Sorry, mate. Sorry. Just quickly going back to the refereeing. Just in that Arsenal game today, if Romero headbutts White, I know he didn't headbutt him, but pushes his head, Romero's getting. I sent Kev a meme saying Romero gets straight red. Gary Neville personally deports him. He gets fucking 5 years in jail as well. 100%.
Our group chat went off when this happened, right? So for those of you that haven't seen it, so City beat Arsenal today. We fucking love it. The bottle is fully on, by the way, everyone. Like this, the one shining light in our season is that them fuckers could lose the title from the most like powerful position they could ever be in, and they're now literally drawing level for the title. That is literally going to make my fucking season because I've had nothing else to hope for. But anyway, that game, obviously, so Gabriel goes head to head with Haaland and pushes it forward. Literally leans into any other game, Romero's getting fucking sent off. I think our group chat was like, he's getting nicked by the police. You know, he's getting done, mate. Like, if that's Romero, he's getting done. He gets off with a yellow card because the referee don't want to make a decision. and influence the title race. Fucking
Yeah,
do me
that was a
favour.
joke of a decision. It's a
joke,
red.
man.
It's a red all day.
All day. Like you say, Romero gets fucking carded twice for that. It's a joke. Anyway. So yeah, anyway, that's the move on. But I want to touch on that as well, actually, Matt, before we leave, because there's still some really, really bad things that could happen in terms of rivals, right? So, worst case scenario, Arsenal win the league, West Ham manage to stay up, and Chelsea relegate us in the game at Stamford Bridge. That is plausible still.
No, I'm done. T. I'm supporting Haringey Borough from that point. I'm done. It won't happen. Like, I won't. I can't do it.
But what I want to leave it on, is the opposite. City win the league, Arsenal bottle it from the most secure position ever known in the Premier League. Chelsea lose to Spurs and miss out on Champions League football. And we usurp West Ham on the last day of the season to relegate them, and we stay in the Premier League. Keep dreaming, Spurs fans. It's going to happen. Stay behind the team. Stay positive. We're on the De Zerbi train, and we're staying in the Premier League. For myself, Matty Kerr, Kevin Dennis, and of course our special guest Shane, we've been the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans podcast. A big shout out to our sponsors, Hotspur Heritage and Ophthalmos UK. Please check them out. And please tell everyone about the pod. We want to have this dialogue with as many people as possible. So talk about us. Get on your Instagrams, on your X, on your TikTok. You can see Matt doing a few football managers on there as well if you want. And and we're on every platform that you can stream your podcast from. And we even do it live on YouTube when we can. So please follow the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans podcast. Stick with the Tottenham Hotspur. We will be Premier League next season. Up the Spurs.